Daniel's 12 and 13. But go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of days. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Israel that rule well, and Shalom to the Akim, Akwathium, and the speckled bird listening and learning. Shalom. Daniel's 12 and 13. But go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of days. Okay? So being circumspect and paying attention, okay, according to the scriptures, what time we are in right now. Okay, we can clearly see that the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath because he knows that he has a short time, that we are in the end of times, that we're in the end of days. Okay, with everything that's taking place, the ice raids that are going to intensify, okay, the hatred against this government that is going to intensify, the hatred towards America, period, by the nations is going to intensify. Heard some different things about what they're doing to some of their government leaders that have been named in the Epstein files. So these files are getting out there. We're not seeing it in America yet, okay, because they have the internet has those algorithms and different things of that nature. And but what I'm going to tell you is, once that shit starts popping up on people's feed over here in America, man, and they see the I can't even say atrocities. I don't even know if there's a word for the things that some of these people have done. But the governments of the world are getting ready to say your political system is extremely tainted, and there's not one trustworthy person in it, and they're not going to deal with these people anymore, man. Okay, now I don't want to get into that. That's a whole nother video. But at the end of the day, we understand the times that we're in, and these brothers that when it says that okay, let me read it again. Okay, Daniel's 12 and 13. Okay, but go thou thy way. Okay, that means that we're going to pass away and we're going to come back, and we're going to pass away and we're going to come back, and we're going to go through that. Okay, what's that? Jude 1 and 6, the angels that left their first estate. Okay, until that great day of judgment, and that's the day that we're coming into. So we have to come back in our lots. Okay, and we understand, and I'm going to get some scriptures going into this, because we understand that at the end of days that a particular group of men, okay, so mainly the first fruits, okay, Yahweh Shai was going to have to get lifted up, okay, and that has been done by these men of the 11th hour that have been teaching the new covenant. And these men that have come, these 11th hour men that have come back, that they have stood up in their lots, okay, they came back at the appointed time that they were needed, okay. When Yahweh Shai, and the brother names are Om and Nomas, I'm gonna put it like that. So when you go into Kamikor and Shalom Abba, the name of their the name of their camp channel is the 11th hour, and they were the first ones to push out the new covenant, and they got a lot of pushback from it. Then you had Yahweh the Maccabees come in and start teaching the new covenant. There was a lot of pushback. You had Bert and Ernie come in and teach the new covenant, which put a tremendous strain and a stain on the new covenant. Then you had, and when it says that these men were going to wake up at their appointed times, men started coming in and understanding and believing and teaching the new covenant, like myself. Okay, this is me coming in at my appointed time, because this is the defense of the gospel. Okay, all right, we are defending the gospel. All right, and we've come back at our appointed time. All right, after the lifting up of Mashiach Yahushua, coming back in our appointed time and continuing to teach the new covenant, to teach salvation to the Jews and then to the Gentiles. And right now, we're not trying to prove a fucking thing to anybody anymore. It's clear. Okay, it's clear. We don't have to. We're just going to continue to teach what the Spirit puts on us to teach. Okay. All right, we're done trying to convince the camps. If they're not gonna come in, then that means that they have come and stood in their lot at the end of days. Okay, so it's clear that they are a Pharisaical order. Okay, the One West doctrine is of a Pharisaical order. It doesn't have anything to do with the new covenant, man. Okay, it doesn't have anything to do with salvation. Nate's trying to buy fucking land and build schools, and this is not our fucking land, man. We can't do that here. Okay, our people found that out, and I want to do a video on all of the towns that are now underwater that used to be owned by black people, that were run by black people. Okay, all right. Black Wall Street burnt to the fucking ground. All right, the doctors, movies, grocery stores, lawyers. Okay, all right, burnt to the ground by the white man because he got jealous, and that's the same thing he'll do to Nate and his people, or anybody else that's trying to buy fucking land here in America. The white man's going to get jealous and find a reason to come in and destroy it. Are they going to find some rare mineral on your land, and they're going to come and they're going to tell you that you fucked something up, the paperwork wasn't signed properly? Okay. All right, but now I want to get off of that. But Daniel's 12 and 13. But go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of days. And that's what these men that come at the 11th hour have done. They have stood in their lot at the end of days. Okay. And in doing so, well, let me get some scriptures. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna run my mouth. Let me grab this real quick. 1 Corinthians 15 and 24. Okay. All right. So this is going into standing your lot at the end of days. Okay. 1 Corinthians 15 and 24. Then cometh the end. Okay. When he shall have delivered up the kingdom. Matter of fact, let me go up. Yeah, let me go up. I'm missing some stuff. Yep. Oh, yeah. I should have started at 23, but let me go up to oh yeah, let me start at 20, matter of fact. No, I'll start at 19. So 1 Corinthians 15 and 19. If in this life only we have hope in a Mashiach, we are of all men most miserable. But now is Hamashiach risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept. Okay, Daniel's 12 and 1. Go ahead, go thou thy way. Okay, because you're going to sleep, you're going to die, you're going to pass away. Okay, but in the end of days, the first fruits, what is going to happen? Yahweh Shai was raised from the dead. We rested, and now we've come back in our lots at the end of days. Okay, to be defenders of the gospel. Okay, Hamashiach, and then the first fruits. He was the first fruit. Okay, the 12 were first fruits. The 70. Okay, all right. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, of the dead. For as in Adam all die, even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive. Okay? All right. So even though and that's because he has destroyed death. All right. and we don't have to experience that after this second death comes, man. Okay, that thermonuclear destruction, because we have come into the new covenant. We have agreed and came into the new covenant. All right. And I went into that the other day about the New Testament, keeping coming in and being able ministers of the New Testament, which Testament goes into covenant. Okay. All right. So we have to be seen as able ministers. Okay. In the teaching of the salvation of a Mashiach Yahushua, so that you don't have to die on this side anymore. Okay. For as in Adam all die, even so in the Mashiach shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order, okay? Every man in his own order. What did I just get done talking about with when I went into Salakia? I thought a fly was in my car. No, it's still a little cold, but every man came back in his own order, and that's what I was going into when you had Kamya Call start teaching the New Covenant. Then you had Bert and Ernie. They had started teaching it, was introduced to Yahweh the Maccabees, and then Bert and Ernie put a stain on it, okay? And nobody wanted to touch it with a 10-foot fucking pole. But what happened was every man that was supposed to come back in his order, okay, that was going to start teaching the New Covenant came back in their order. Because after a while, even though what Bert and Ernie did, they made it look like shit, but the Spirit told me that this was right. Okay? It's right. And then the other brothers started coming in their own order. Okay? And that's what took place. You had other men come in, all right? But a lot of those men were really men trying to, and it probably was just men trying to get a hold of something, because it was different than the One West doctrine. Not because it was right, but because it was different. And in their own little way, they were trying to be wiser than their teachers, but ended up looking like fucking fools. Okay? You see? That's why the scripture said to keep thy foot when you come to the house of the Lord. You're supposed to be listening to these men that are teaching the new covenant. Not trying to use the new covenant for filthy lucre's sake, because it sounds, oh damn, them brothers, they are right, or not. They ain't, not about being right, but damn, them brothers, they got something over there. I can capitalize off of that. That was the attitude, and the scriptures say that the Holy Spirit cannot dwell in a malicious soul, man. So a lot of men, even though they have gotten a hold of it, like the brothers in Texas, teaching a white man can be saved. What did they do? They didn't really come back in their lot. These men that are teaching it properly have come back in their lot. That's why there's probably, since, and this is a side note, that boy Bishop Melchizedek is not with the brothers that are teaching the new covenant. And I seen the video that Yahweh the Maccabee sent me. This nigga smoking weed, man, geeked out his fucking mind. I mean, he was tweaking, man, on the video. And I told Yahweh the Maccabees, I text him. He sent me that video. I text him. He was a little upset because the boy was talking shit. It's like, bro, that man got mad demons on him. Don't even fucking waste your time. Back to the lesson, Salagia. All right, 1 Corinthians 15 and 23. But every man in his own order, Hamashiach, and the first fruits, afterward, they that are Hamashiachs at his coming. Okay? So, brothers that are out here teaching right now, okay? Hamashiach came back. First fruits came back, the 11th hour. Okay? All right, they were given a talent. Okay? They became part of the body and were given a talent. 1 talent, 3 talents, 5 talents. Some got shit, brother. Some brothers got 10. Okay? All right? For the most part, somebody with 1 talent is somebody that understands and believes the truth, man. Okay? A helper. All right, somebody that sends a brother money, you know. But if you're not, if you believe, you understand and you believe, but you're not helping or you're not putting out any videos, you're putting the Most High, you're putting that talent in a napkin. Okay, just like Great Millstone, IUIC, ISUPK, they understand what's going on right now. All right, so some of them that have 10 talents, even though they have 10 talents, they are hiding that shit in the napkin. They're not trying to turn it into 20. Okay, because you have to being somebody that has a talent, you have to double or triple or quadruple the Lord's money, man. Okay. that's us producing fruit. You see, if we're a part of the vine, and I'm going to go into that too. If we're a part of the vine, okay, and the vine has produced fruit, which is us, then we have to also, being a part of that vine, produce fruit. Okay. You know, we just can't be a vine sticking off of the main branch. We're a vine sticking off the main branch, and we're not producing fruit. You're useless, man. Okay. All right. So every man has a talent, and if you're not using it in whatever way that you're capable of, if you're not taking brothers' videos, if you can't go out on the highways and teach. Okay, hoping and praying that it's nice enough for me to go out this week. It was actually kind of warm last weekend, but I got up late, like I said, and I was tired as hell. Not really an excuse, but I'm trying to go back down to my spot downtown. But if you're not teaching, okay, you understand, you believe, you understand, and you're watching, and you're not able to provide financial support, then you need to be uploading the hell out of everybody's videos, man. You need to be reposting and uploading, re-uploading these videos, man. You got to help some way or another. You know. You see, that's what your talent is. If you got 3 talents, you got to double that, man. Okay. All right. So, but every man in his own order, Hamashiach, the first fruits. Afterward, they that are Hamashiachs that is coming. Because at the end, what is going to happen with those brothers that have woken up? What's going to happen to the first fruits? That spiritual power is going to come, and the people shall be willing in the day of thy power. What do I always say? I said when that happens, when these brothers start exhibiting spiritual powers, what do you think is going to happen? Everybody's going to want to be down with them, man. Okay, everybody's going to know that what they were saying is true. You see, they're not going to want to try to. They're not going to want to hear no bullshit, man. You know, they're going to want to hear about salvation, man. They ain't going to want to hear about nothing else. Okay. All right. So all of those people that are going to belong to a Mashiach Yahushua at the end, you know, and I'm sure that they already have these people written in the book, you know, because all of us were known before, you know, mainly the elect were known before the foundation of the earth, because we are the angels that left their first estate. Okay. Known before we were in our mother's womb. You see? All right. No, I'm gonna bother with that one. Yeah, I'll read this one. Ephesians 5:14. Wherefore he saith, awake, thou that art sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Amashiach shall give thee light. Okay? Arise thou that sleep. Okay? Well, so what happened? our dead bodies lie in the street of the great city for what? Three and a half days, 350 years. And after that 350 years, what happened? They stood upon their feet the first hour, stood upon their feet. The third hour stood upon their feet. The sixth hour stood upon their feet. Okay, the ninth hour. And then the 11th hour stood upon their feet, the first fruits. All right. All of us had the flesh and the sinews. Okay. At one point. But then what happened? All right. Hamashiach shall give thee light. What is the light? The new covenant, the Holy Spirit. You see? That's the breath that was given to the dry bones, man, in the book of Ezekiel. You see? Can these dry bones live? They had on the flesh and the sinews, right? So when you start talking about can these dry bones yet live? Yes, they can. All right, because that's what this just got done saying. All right. Go to 1 Corinthians 4:9. All right, 1 Corinthians 4:9. For I think that our power has set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death, for we are made a spectacle unto the world and to angels and to men. So if our dead bodies lie on the street of the great city, okay, after 3.5 days, after 350 years, we stood upon our feet. Okay, first hour, third hour, sixth hour, ninth hour. Okay, the 11th hour, we all had received the skin and the sinews. All right, and then Hamashiach did what to the first fruits? He gave them the breath. Okay, pay them first. I want to give them the breath first. Okay, because I have to separate my sheep from the goats, man. You see, the wheat from the tares, because you have wicked ass men amongst Israel. Okay, we ain't talking about the white man. That don't got shit to do with Esau, man. Okay, you're talking about a seed of wickedness, a seed. If you're sowing a seed of wickedness, what are you doing? You're telling people fucking lies, man. Okay, and that's what One West, that doctrine has done. They're not teaching about salvation. Okay, they're not teaching about praising Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, they've put themselves up on a pedestal. They've sat in the seats of the apostles, man. Okay, and they refuse to get the fuck up. They refuse to get out of those seats, man. Like I said, all we've ever said was to teach the new covenant. Acknowledge what the scriptures say. You don't have to give up your position at Great Millstone or IUIC. We don't give a damn about those positions, man. We don't want that shit. You know? All we want is our people to get the understanding of the new covenant. You see? I refuse to sit in the seat that you have sat in. You know why? Because the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, is going to give me my seat when it's fucking time. Okay? All right? So, for I think that our power has set forth us, the apostles, last. The 11th hour, to teach the new covenant. That's the first fruits, man. All right? They have received the light. They have received the breath. You see? You guys, man, these guys don't have a clue, bro. All right? Acts 2:42. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship and in breaking of bread and in prayers. Okay? What were we going to do when we came back? We were going to stand, and didn't that the book of Daniel say we were going to stand in our lot at the end of days? Who is teaching the new covenant? The Pharisees and the Sadducees wouldn't teach it, would they? The Pharisees and the Sadducees would not teach the new covenant. They refused it, they denied it, they rejected it, and they killed the men that taught it. What has been happening? Who is teaching the new covenant? The 11th hour, right? When the apostles came last at the 11th hour, who started teaching the new covenant? The apostles. Okay? They received the breath because they were the first fruits. Okay? So they continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine, man. All right? All right. Matthew 20:6. And about the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, why stand ye here all the day long? Idle. See? Matter of fact, let me go back to the top. Matthew 20:1. Okay. All right. Just to make it make sense. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers in his vineyard. Okay. We're talking about metaphorically speaking. Okay, so you got to understand, and they used to. This is what this is what Yahweh Shai was saying. Okay, about parables. It's for you to understand and not for them. Okay, and this is why Great Millstone refuses to go into Matthew the 20th chapter. We keep on inquiring why they do not want to go into Matthew the 20th chapter. Why they don't want to talk about what the apostles' doctrine is. Like the brother from GMS Boston tried to say that all of the scriptures are the gospel. The chips the gospel, the signs the gospel. No, that's not the gospel, man. Okay? That is not the New Testament. That is not the new covenant. Okay? That's speaking specifically about the testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua, not everything else. Okay? All right? He had to hire laborers into his vineyard, and when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. That's the first hour. Okay? Elder Bivens, King Masha, okay? Yaiquab, okay? And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, okay? And so on and so on, okay? And he said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way, again around the 6th and the 9th hour, and did likewise. Okay? Outer Malcolm, okay? Manata Zagba, all right? Brothers that have been in here from 40 years, that's their first hour. 30 years is the third. 20 years, 15, okay? Up to about 8 to 10 years, which would be the 11th hour. Okay? So if the 11th hour are people that have been in here for 8 to 10 years, 7 to 10 years, okay, 2 years, 4 years, okay, would be considered the 11th hour. Under 10 years is would be considered the 11th hour. Okay? And at the time when brothers started teaching it, I'm sure a lot of them were way underneath that 10 years. Okay? So that would be the men of the 11th hour. That would be the apostles last. Okay? That would be the first fruits, because they are, when he said, let me read it. And about the 11th hour he went out and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, why stand ye here all the day idle? They said unto him, Because no man hath hired us. He saith unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. Okay? The parable. This is a parable for who to understand. Okay? For he who hath an ear. Okay? Because when those that came in at the 11th hour, when they were told, when the steward was told, hey, go pay them first. That's talking about giving them the breath, man. That's talking about, okay, we all had from the first hour to the 11th hour, we all had the skin and the sinews. Okay? We all did the labor out on the highways and hedges. All right? Out there with the One West doctrine, cussing out everybody, the white man, the black woman, and everybody else. Okay? And then when he said, pay the 11th hour first, the 11th hour got the breath, and they started teaching the new covenant. Okay? The 11th hour was paid first with what? The breath of the understanding of the new covenant. Okay? But what? Let me read down a little bit. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, and they likewise received every man a penny. Okay? And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house. And what happened? What happened when the breath was given to the 11th hour? Those of the 11th hour. I ain't worried about that. What happened when the men of the 11th hour were given the breath? These men that were in here 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 years, what did they do? They murmured. They were upset. We ain't in the new covenant, nigga. You niggas is bugged out. You niggas got the demon, the new covenant demon. The David, you Negroes is crazy. That's what they did. They murmured. You weren't murmuring at us. You were calling us names, but at the end of the day, we're just messengers for the Most High and His Son. So you murmured against them, okay, for giving us the breath first, for paying us first. The apostles last. He brought in the apostles last to teach the apostles' doctrine. Okay? All right, Romans 12:4. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. Okay? So when you listen at the differences, and you're getting the full message. If you're listening to every brother that's teaching the new covenant, you are getting a complete message. Okay? You're getting a complete message. That is the complete message. That's if you're not listening to all of us, okay, I'm gonna just listen to Yahweh and Maccabees. No, you gotta listen. There's a message going across the board, man, with the brothers that are teaching the new covenant. Okay? Because we all have our own office. We all have our own talent. Okay? All right? Well, some of us may have one talent. Some of us may have 3 talents. Okay? Because you gotta have brothers out there with a lower amount of talents that can teach. You see? You gotta have brothers that have a higher number of talents, that have a better way of explaining everything. But there's a complete message in all of our lessons. Okay? All right? So we being many are one body in a Mashiach, and every one member one of another. Okay? You see? We all are members of one body, man. All right? You got to look at the complete body. to get to get a complete understanding of what's taking place right now, man. Okay, and that's why this small number of men, these 12 to 15 men, are able to repel such a great force, man. Because all of Israel is hearing these messages, man, but they ain't trying to come fuck it. They ain't coming over here. They ain't coming over here, man. As much as they like to debate and talk shit and try to prove themselves that they're right, none of them have considered it. Okay? Because in the spirit, they understand, you know? If they really start coming at these brothers, man, on some old retarded shit, the Most High is gonna start putting people to death, man. They know that. That's why they'd rather be silent. You see? But you got to understand that your silence is being complicit. So any of you brothers that understand what's going on right now, and you're not correcting those around you, okay? Open rebuke is better than secret love, man. And if you're a respecter of persons, okay, you know, then you really don't love these brothers, man. You don't give a damn about them. Because you would say something, hey man, listen, yeah, I think these brothers are right. You know, we're trying to show you about salvation, and that's what you should be doing to somebody if you think that what we're saying is correct, instead of being silent. Okay, you got to understand that. All right. I think I'm gonna read this. Yeah, I'll read now. All right. Yeah, I think I'll read this. If I stop to break anything down, I'm trying to make it short. It's a lot of reading. All right, Matthew 25 and 14. The kingdom of heaven is a man traveling into a far country who called his own, and this is red letters, Yahweh Shai speaking. Okay. All right. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country who called his own servant and delivered unto them his goods. Okay. I'm going to give you I'm going to give you the breath. I'm going to give you back the understanding of the whole through the Holy Spirit. I'm going to give you back the understanding of the new covenant. Okay, that's why it says steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine. All right. So when we start talking about those types of things, and let me continue reading. All right, we'll go from there. What the hell is little shorty up to? She crazy. Salake, y'all. Like a little young girl just started walking, then she got right there and just started running. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, man, Salakia. Matthew 25 and 14. For the kingdom of heaven is a man traveling into a far country who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. Okay. And unto one he gave 5 talents. All right. To another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Okay. So I'm gonna the Yahweh Shai gave us the understanding, gave certain men an understanding with 2 talents, certain men 3, certain 4, 5, and so on. Okay. And he gave us a command to go well, let's read it. Okay. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same. It makes more sense if I just keep reading. So I'll try to keep reading. If I see I need to break something down, I will. Okay. Then he that received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents. Okay, doubled his talents. That's talking about that branch, okay, that has vines, and those vines have to produce fruit. Produce fruit. All of these things correspond. Okay, we'll get to that. And likewise, he that had received two, he also gained other two talents. But he that had received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. Okay. So you were given a talent. Okay. Let's say your one talent, okay, is to hold signs. Okay. Be at camp, go to camp on every day on time, or on a weekend on time, hold signs. Because that would be something that Great Millstone will have you doing for a long ass time. They don't really allow young brothers to stand out and teach. Like sometime when I used to watch GMS Chicago, okay, there will be 25, 30 brothers standing there. The scriptures say go out two by two, but there will be 25, 30 plus brothers standing out there, having side conversations, not really focused on the lesson, not really holding post, just just doing whatever the hell they wanted to do. You know what I mean? And that's not order. Okay, when you start talking about order, okay, that right there is not order. All right, you shouldn't have 25, 30 brothers standing around not doing a goddamn thing, but talking about the little tramp that they smashed the night before. You know, all right, about the basketball game or different things of that nature. They should be productive. They should be broke off into smaller camps and doing other. You know, but that's not what they do. So a lot of those men are hiding the talent, man. Okay. All right. And we're going to get into what's going to happen to these brothers, man. All right. Like the new covenant, if you hear it and you understand it, but you are unwilling to teach it because you're still in these camps, okay, you're hiding the talent. Okay. If you're denying, you're in the truth and you're denying the new covenant, rejecting it, you're hiding the talent. You're hiding all. If you've been given 5 talents, 10, you're still, it's the same thing as just getting one and digging, putting it in the earth. Okay. You got 5 talents and you're denying. Manat Zagba, you got what, 15, 10, 15, 5, 10 talents. Okay. And you're denying the new covenant, you're digging in the earth and putting all your talents in the fucking earth, man. Okay? You're denying the talents. Okay? After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. All right? Because Yahushua is coming back. All right? And he's going to ask, and if you don't have on that wedding garment, which is going to represent you doubling his talents, okay? If you're a vine on that branch and you haven't produced any fruit, okay, he's going to put your ass, he's going to kill you, okay, because he's coming. All right. All right. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside me 5 talents. I have produced some fruit. Okay. I'm a vine on you as a branch and produce some fruit. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. Okay? And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there, lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knowest that I reap where I sowed not, and gathered where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. Okay, so all of you brothers that have been denying the new covenant, all of you brothers that have been denying, rejecting the new covenant, okay, you actually have taken your talents and you have hid them. Okay, so the Most High, so Yahweh, when Yahweh Bashim Yahushua returned, okay, they let me keep reading. All right, for unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance, but from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. Okay. Now, when you go into the book of Revelations, what does it talk about when we tell you that you have on you do not have on a wedding garment? That's Salakias, book of Matthew. You don't have on a wedding garment. Okay. All right. If you don't have that wedding garment, what is going to happen? You're going to get cast into what? Outer darkness, man. Okay, so a lot of you men that are hiding your talent, that understand what's going on right now with the new covenant, but you're rejecting and denying it because you're a respecter of person. You're just doing it out of fear. Okay, I don't want to get kicked out of GMS. Okay, all right. The Most High is gonna kill you, man. Oh, you want to be a respecter of persons, and now you don't have on a wedding garment. You want to be a respecter of persons and went and hid your talent. Okay, because you understand the history. If you understand the history, you understand the laws, okay, and the prophecies. If you understand those things, you should you have on the skin, and you have the skin and the sinews, man. Okay, and if for any other reason, okay, that you're denying the new covenant, for any other reason you're denying the new covenant, then the Most High is gonna fucking kill you, man. Okay, if you don't come up out of that bullshit. All right. Okay. And cast ye the unprofitable servant, those that didn't want to come into the covenant, new covenant. You don't want to teach it? All right. Okay. He's going to allow you to continue on the bullshit that you're doing. All right. Okay. Got kids coming to fuck around. I don't know where the hell they gonna play at. Ain't nothing but snow over that motherfucking playground. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot here. Okay. All right, let me read verse 30 again. Okay, Matthew 25 and 30. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. What is going to happen to those that don't have on the wedding garment, which is the garment of salvation? He's going to cast you into outer darkness, and there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay? So when you start talking about the new covenant, okay, when you start talking about the garment of salvation, when you start talking about the wedding garment, okay, and you start talking about those that were given talents, those that came in at the first, the third, the sixth, the ninth, and the 11th hour, those that were given those talents, okay, they all had the capacity to get the understanding of the Holy Scriptures, but what happened? They wanted to follow a multitude to do evil. Okay? You see? So you just got to understand, man, that you are an unprofitable servant. The Most High is going to cast you. He's going to kill you, man. If you don't come into the new covenant, he is going to fucking kill you. Okay? I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. It's getting ready to get real, bro. It is really getting ready to get real out here. Isaiah 61:10. I will greatly rejoice in Yahweh. My soul shall be joyful in my power. For he hath clothed me with the garment of salvation. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness. As a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and a bride adorneth herself with jewels. Okay? So we understand where we're standing at right now. Okay? Being as though we decide we knew in our spirit, okay? All right, Salakia. We knew in our spirit that the what we heard when these brothers were teaching the new covenant, we heard it. At first we were apprehensive, okay, and you know, for good reason, because when I really didn't hear when Kam Yakal and Shalom Abba were first teaching it. I only really started hearing it, I think, when Yahweh the Maccabee started teaching it, and then the incident with I kind of keep on calling them Bert and Ernie because I can't remember these brothers' name. When them two started the whole debacle, you know, about being able to smoke weed and shit like that because they were in the covenant and were forgiven the sins and all the other whatever the fuck they was talking about. I can't remember everything, but you know, it really put a stain on the new covenant. And you know, I was like, well, I'm not, you know, I'm not sure, you know, but I had to listen, you know. What is the scripture? Okay. That you have to listen to the conclusion of the matter. Okay, so I was careful to listen to the conclusion of the matter. Okay, keep thy foot when you come to the house of the Lord, and that's what I did. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't want to say, man, them niggas just cry. I didn't want to say those types of things because that's not the type of person I am, anyway. But at the end of the day, you know, I wanted to continue to listen because what they were reading, and explaining was absolutely correct according to the Holy Scriptures. Okay. So that's why I had to continue what I was doing. You see? So in doing so, I got more and more of an understanding of what the Holy Scriptures were talking about when it came to the new covenant. And that's when I started to another scripture always pops up. Be fully persuaded in your own mind. Okay. All right. Study to show thyself approved. All right. Make your calling and election sure. Okay, these things, uh, uh, basically staples, man. You know, keeping me from making any rash decision because I understood those scriptures. I remembered those scriptures, those milk scriptures. I was like, yeah, I gotta keep listening. Okay, that's what we have to do to get an understanding. We can't rush to judgment. You see? Once you start rushing to judgment, you know what I'm saying? You can make the wrong fucking decision, you know? And that's not the attribute of a king. Okay? A king is going to listen to the conclusion of a matter, man. All right? So he can make a wise decision. Going back to when Jerusalem was under siege and the two women were eating, the two women made a decision to eat their children. And the one cooked her, she sod her child, which means to boil. and they ate him. And then the next day they went to the lady was like, "Yo, where's your son?" And she went and hit him, you know. And then when I can't I gotta read it, but just going into that, he had to listen to the conclusion of that matter to make a wise decision, because he was ready to split the child in half. Now bring the baby here, I'm gonna cut him in half, you know. And the woman that hit her child said, "No, no, don't, you know, don't, you know." And he said, "Well, like, all right, well, I know that's your child and shit." You know, basically, that's roughly paraphrasing. Okay, so let me get back to the lesson because I want to end this. Isaiah 61:10. I will greatly rejoice in Yahweh. My soul shall be joyful in my power, for he hath clothed me with the garment of salvation. Okay. All right. That's what I just got done saying. You guys that are hiding your talent, you don't have on the garment of salvation, man. You don't have on a wedding garment. You don't have the tawah. Okay. And the Most High is going to kill you. Okay. All right. Ezekiel 37:9. Then saith he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord our power, the Lord Yahweh, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon the slain. Oh, wait a minute. I went down too far. Let me start down. I didn't want to start at 9. I wanted to start at 3. Salakia. Boy, you brought them kids out here for 5 minutes. Ezekiel 37:9. And he said unto me, oh no, 37:3, Salakia. Okay, I started 37:3. 37:3. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord, Yahweh, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and I prophesied where was a noise, and behold a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when we beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Okay, so the first hour, the third hour, the sixth hour, the ninth, the 11th hour were all kept called in, the dry bones. Okay, they lived. They understood the scriptures. They understood the history, the laws, and the prophecies. Okay, there's no breath in them, but they were out there in the field. They were out there on the highways and hedges. Okay, teaching. Okay, the history, the laws, and then what had to happen? The 11th hour received the breath. They were paid first. Okay, all right. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then say he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live. Okay, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Okay, because what do you when you start talking about the breath and the day of thy power, the people shall be willing. What is going to happen when that happens, man? Okay, that spiritual power is going to come, and these people are going to be willing. That's when the exceeding great army is going to stand up. Okay. All right, because these brothers, they have the sinews and the skin, but they don't have the breath. All right, that's going to be given to the 144,000, and they haven't been what's that word I'm looking for? They haven't been exposed yet. Okay, just like King David hasn't been exposed yet. When they show up, that's it for Esau's ass, and that's at the point at that point Esau's going to be putting his hands on people. Okay, touch not mine anointed. All right. Okay, John 15:1. I am the true vine. Okay, going back to the talking about the breath, talking about the talents. Okay, Yahweh Shai, the first fruits. All right, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit. Okay, if you hide my talent, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Okay. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. Okay. That's the breath. That's that breath. Abide in me, coming to the new covenant, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine. All right. You see? Except it abide in the vine. No more can ye accept ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, ye cannot do anything. You cannot do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. Okay? Your ass is an unprofitable servant. You hide the talent. You're not going to be, you're not abiding in a Mashiach Yahushua, okay, if you're hiding the talent. All right. If you're not in the new covenant, you are not abiding in a Mashiach Yahushua. You're an unprofitable servant. Okay. You're a servant that knew the will. Okay. Just like the one that had the one talent, he knew the will. Okay. He understood the mission. Okay, but he did not do the will of his master, man. He knew the will of this servant, knew his will and did not do it. So what happened to him? You see, his ass got put to death. He was beaten with many stripes. Okay, a branch that does not produce fruit. You're not in a new covenant. You're not bringing people to salvation. You're not producing any fruit. So what is going to happen to that branch? It's going to get cut off and it's going to be thrown into the pile to get burned. Okay, you're an unprofitable servant without without the garment of salvation. You do not have the breath if you are not teaching the new covenant. Okay, you just have the skin and the sinews. You're not producing any other fruit, man. You're not doubling the Lord's money. So he's gonna leave. He's gonna put you to death here, man. Okay. All right. He said he's gonna cast them into the fire, and they are burned. That's what he's getting ready to do to you. All right. All right. Isaiah 37 and 31. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion, the zeal of Yahweh of hosts shall do this. Therefore saith Yahweh concerning the king of Assyria, this is talking about America, okay? He shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shields, nor cast a bank against it, because Esau ain't gonna be able to put his fucking hands on the elect, man. He's not gonna be able to put a hand on these men that are teaching the new covenant and those that believe. Okay, that's what it just got done saying. All right, so let me read it again. Verse 33. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh concerning the king of Assyria, okay, the so-called white man here in America, or overseas, Europe, or wherever the fuck else, okay, all right, he shall not come into this city. That's talking about he's not going to be able to fucking do anything to the elect, man, nor shoot an arrow, nor come before it with shields, nor cast a bank against it, okay? He's not going to be able to touch the elect, man, at all. At all. He's not going to be able to do a damn thing, man. Okay? Touch not mine anointed. Okay? All right? Romans 6:22. But now being made free from sin and become servants of our power, ye have your fruit unto holiness and the end everlasting life. Okay? Because we ain't gonna face the second death. We're not gonna have to face the second death, man. Okay, because we have become a profitable servants. Okay, we have received the skin, the sinews, and the breath. We have been given talents. We doubled them. Okay, we abide in Hamashiach Yahushai, and we produce fruit. Okay, all right. Okay, Isaiah 65:22. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. Okay, so everything that the elect have done, like I just got done saying, okay, they had talents, they were given talents, and they doubled them. They were abiding in a Mashiach Yahushai, and they produced fruit. Okay. All right, they taught the new covenant as commanded, man, and they abideth in the apostles' doctrine. All right, we ain't going nowhere, man. All right. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash. Again, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Israel, the rule well, and shalom to the Yakim, Akwathi, and the speckled bird listening and learning. Shalom.